Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get on our winner takes all $300,000 NFL pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Much love. We appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to the fam. All right, okay, y'all. I'm muted. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all should be able to hear me, man. I don't know why it popped up. There it is. Okay, it's in. All right, y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear, man. All right, good. Thank y'all. All right, so in this episode of the show, man, listen, man, I was watching, as I was saying, as I was rudely muted. Big ups to all y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream for this Saturday episode of the Coma, man. This one here is entitled Dennis Allen Found and, quote, Alpha Way, end quote, to lead the team. That's the question. That's coming from one of his favorite guys who, at times, known to sling a lot of bullshit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. We'll see how it all goes, man, because like I said, some people need more work, for them to prove. And we're going to read over this article. I'm going to listen to the interview, play it for you guys on this. But I want the Saints to have a more decisive mentality, man, and fighting through. You cannot pretend not to hear everything. This whole spiel about no, we don't care about any expectations outside of the building. You got to have expectations, and you got to explain to people what are you attempted to do. You got to show that you have improved, and you have to do what you got to do, because the reality is, over the last 3 years, there's been, a lot of bad looking football, a lot of bad looking football. And that has to change. And listen, fam, let's just keep it a buck. There's different levels, man, to what people, different levels to, it's levels to everything, right? Game. It's different levels to everything. So people approach, when they talk about what's going on with the black and gold, they talk about it in different ways. There's people that are on a fan perspective, which I am not. I'm not on that. I'm on a supporter level, not a fan, because a fan don't know shit. A fan doesn't involve himself or herself in critical analyzation of the team. They just go whatever the team say to go. They go with it. They don't challenge the team. I don't buy into that. If you do, that's you. I don't come at it like that. That's been the whole talking, the mindset of the mentality of the Sports Coma since its inception, is that it is built on telling it like it is, because too many other people, corporate or otherwise, are spinning the narratives of the team. And it is only those people that actually challenge the team, then you see the team rise and get better at what they're doing. It happened with the family members back in the day when they put the bags on their head. Ain't nobody stupid enough to be just downtrodden for all these years. I mean, it's support up to a point. But if somebody ain't doing something for you and they disrespecting you, you pull that back. And there's nobody stupid enough to do 1,000% support on a team and they just disrespecting you. They putting out a team that's basically or a product that's is a mockery. If you're going to represent the region in which I'm from, in which I live, you're going to represent right, or you're going to get this work. That's always been my talking point. And the reason why I say that is because we don't need no more shilling. We don't need no Saint Shields. We don't need none of that, man. We got enough of people trying to kiss the Saints' ass and do all this kind of stuff. Listen, the only agenda is to tell it like it is and keep it real. Because we done heard all that other stuff, all these little weird relationships that the Saints have with different companies, because like WWL, I done broke that down, how they in bed with them. That's why a lot of the commentary be all biased and bullshitish. They don't want to ask no tough questions. They don't want to do none of that. And then no, we're not going for that. You won't just sit up here and stink and then allow you to stink without busting your ass. Oh no, that don't go like that here. That don't go like that here. Oh no, because we winners over here. We believe in winning and handling business over here. That's how it is. We believe in building. We believe in business over here. Let me tell you something. We about success and winning. Now, we might not win all the time, but we're going to give an all out effort and do everything we can do. And we're not going to make excuses on why we fail. And we're just going to fix the failures. We're going to adjust and move. And that's how the true diehards of the Who Dat Nation, the ones that put their bags on their head, because they first started telling the Saints to do better. The Saints didn't want to listen. And then what they did, you know what they started doing after the Saints wouldn't listen? They started literally, because it wasn't the opponent. Like I've said this before, it wasn't the opponent's people that started putting bags on their head and making fun of the Saints and calling it the Aints. That was the supporters. They did that to make fun of the team because the team was ignoring what they were saying. So they started visibly showing them with signs and all kind of stuff. And they started put the bags on, all that kind of stuff, to make fun of the team, to the point where the team had to address the things that was going on. Now, that's a part of your history. You can't take a history where it's the encapsulation of everything, win, lose. That's the complete history. That's how you know where you come from. You don't just toss out the losses. All that's a culmination of who you are as a individual or an organization. You're a culmination of your wins and losses. And by your losses, are you then judged to get to that next level, because you then shift, if you're right, and you'll be in the echelon of the league. Now, we're at a juncture of time right now where the Saints organization has fallen to a degree. And I don't care if Peyton not here. I don't care if Drew Brees wasn't here. We were fortunate enough to have Benson. We have Tom Benson as long as we had him. We was fortunate to have Sean Payton as long as we had him. We was fortunate enough to have Drew Brees well into his late 30s, into his 40s. We were fortunate enough to have those guys, but you had enough time to make a bridge between one to whoever it is to the next person. You had enough time. The Saints have a dulled vision, and that is why a lot of the losses have occurred. It was simply accountability, not making timely decisions and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't all tied to injuries. You have in the live moment of these games, you have to adjust and make the proper decisions or be beaten by the people that are making the right decisions. It's basically adjust or die. So, like I said, I bring that all in because this is the season, man, right before the first game of the regular season, 2024-25 season. It is imperative that the New Orleans Saints come out and play, even if they don't, they don't know everything about their offenses. It's very important that the Saints come out and they set an energy that every play, we're going to do our absolute best, to beat these people down or whatever you got to do. It has to be an overall mentality. Do I think they beat Carolina? Yes, I do. Do I think the Saints make the playoffs? I think this is a 10-11 win team if, and I always throw the if out there, if they do what they're supposed to do, which is execute properly. Then you'll see success at that level. Success and that's the thing. Ask any successful person or somebody that's about something, man. You gotta have a mentality of putting in work and being consistent, doing your best job, and then adjusting, making things happen to succeed. That's what it is. And people will see you and recognize your contributions or whatever you're doing if it's a public situation. And then you'll slowly grow into whatever you need to be. And if you're in the private sector, it's the same way. If you're working with people, they'll recognize your contributions to the company or whatnot. But it's a very easy sounding formula, but trust me, it's not. A lot of people tend to fall off that path of success, man. That's why there's so many millionaires in the world versus people that are not millionaires. It's a very fine road, and the principles are strict, to get there. And it takes a lot. But I'm telling you, man, you are among those people. You can have as much as you want. And I'm talking about it's on you. I can't tell you how much in the world about. All I can do is try to motivate you into being the best you can be and not accepting nothing less, not being a settler. You're going to be miserable. Just if you want the best, go for the best. You're not here for a very long time. Put your best foot forward, man, while you got it. Let's go. All right. So anyway, man, let's get right into this stream. Just dropping a little science with the fam. I appreciate all y'all being in the stream. What's up, Mills? He says, Q, you okay? Yes. All right. I'm up against you, huh, brother? All right. Money team. All right. That's you, brother. All right. Right now, I got you a little bit, brother. I got you by a little bit, brother. Just by a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. All right, brother Clyde said, what up, Q? I still want Leonard Fournette. Me and DC talked about this. Shout out to my brother DC, man. We talked about this before. I don't think there'll ever be a Leonard Fournette and Tyrann Mathieu pairing because those camps don't get along, and that's a New Orleans thing. So I don't think you'll ever see that. It's a New Orleans thing, baby. Trust me on that. I don't think you ever gonna see that. You got to be from the boot to understand what time that is. So, I mean, from the city to know what time that is, that whole situation would not ferret out right, to be honest with you. So we might not see that pairing, my friend. But it sounds good, though. Young City, Carter Boy, good to see you. OG Jerry. Quavadius, T-Rob, big ups to you. Kevin McKnight, Who Dat Records, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Raquel, what's happening, fam? Appreciate you. YOM. Nelson is in the building as well. Big ups to everybody in this thing. All right, Head Trauma, what's popping, fam? Appreciate you. Poppy 504 is in this thing. Brother Rowe is in this thing. Brother Kennard is in this thing. All right, big ups to you. C-Style, what's popping, my friend? Help, appreciate you being up in this thing. AJ, shout out to you, fam. Beverly, shout out to the Queens. All right, big ups to everybody, man. Thank y'all, man, for being here in the stream, man. All right, so much love, man. All right, what's up, Professor? The professors, and it's always good to see the professor. Backwoods said DA is not. Hold on, brother. Don't get into that yet, man. This is where we're going to go over this because this isn't from Tyrann Matthews' perspective, you know, and he wants to kind of enlighten you guys about Dennis Allen in terms of, you know, what he sees. He's always been a supporter of Dennis Allen, never calls out his faults, but, you know, does say that the Saints need to improve, but he is definitely a solid DA guy. You know, ain't no doubt about it. Rising, what's happening, fam? Yeah, I heard about Zack Baun, man. We'll talk about that in the stream, but is that any surprise? Is that any surprise? The Saints used Zack Baun wrong for years. Used him wrong for years. Philly brings him, has a plan. He has a hell of a game. We'll talk about it a little bit later in the stream. JT, shout out to you. Good to see you. Chase, Black Major, English. All right, there it is. I come here for like it is. There you go, fam. All right, English. Thank you, man. Clyde says they're both from the 7. Indeed, I know. Yeah, it's a little smoke there, brother. It's some old school. Now, maybe they chilled on that, but we'll see, man. All right, Uncle Deuce says, cute, Who Dat Nation took over the Panthers. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed, man. Yes. And see, the thing is, too, fam, we'll see. What's up, brother Derek? How you doing? What's up, Kel? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Hootie says Saints will win or lose in the last seconds. Okay, you predict it'll be a close game. He says we play better on the road. Upgraded defense, offense not quite ready. O-line will be the detriment of our season. Ain't it the truth? Thank you, Hoodie. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. Mario, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you in the chat as well. Yeah, I know Tulane was doing it, man. Y'all should see that. It was pretty good. K-Man was popping, fam. But hey, they didn't use him right now. But who drafted him? We're going to talk about it there, K-Man. We're going to talk about it, K-Man. All right, we're going to get into it. All right, Dr. Key. Salute to Dr. Key in the building. KB was popping. Queen, good to see KB. Much love. Brother Jerry Covington. Covington's in the building. It's time. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. So anyway, let's hit this one, man. This is one I wanted to share with y'all. I had 3 articles I wanted to kind of go over with y'all today. This is from Tyrann Matthews saying the new vibe for the Saints is because Dennis Allen is, quote, tired of getting pushed around, end quote. Tired of being pushed around. He tired of you who that's out there. And you naysayers, I'm pointing squarely at you. You know what they say about when you got one finger pointed, you got what, 3 of them pointed back at you. Y'all do like this. Then he tired of you naysayers out there. Hey, it's not naysaying. It's not naysaying. It's not naysaying when you're saying what you see. It's not you're saying nay. You're not naysaying. See, this is the crazy part about naysaying, or people like we had to correct the brother in the chat, one of the other shows, about saying hating on this, that, and the third. I'm like, fam, listen, let's get this together here, man. Let's get this wording together, man. Let's be real solid on our wording right here. When if you're a football team, especially a professional one, a lot of your business, if not all of your business, is handled out in front of the public. And rightfully so, because there's an investment from the support base that want to see how well you are doing. Well, over the last 3 years, we measure in the city of New Orleans, we measure success by playoffs, by getting to the playoffs, and how far can you get in the playoffs? Well, there's been none of that. So you would be considered that would be considered a failure to not make the playoffs. Now, why did they not make the playoffs? Has it been something that was out of their realm of control? That's a whole show within itself. To be honest, a whole show within itself over the last 3 years that we have documented here on the Sports Coma. And you go back into the archives and basically listen to everything that I've been saying over the last 3 years. And if you want to have success, you cannot have success at any measurement if you are not attention to detailed and accountable. When you have a bunch of people, and a lot of these people are going to make mistakes. And as a supervisor, which is what the head coach is, you have to be on this. You can't let stuff get loose and shake. You can't cover stuff up. You can't misdirect stuff. You can't be involved with favoritism. You can't do that. That dude did all of that early on, and he don't even have the excuse that, well, he was a rookie coach. He had to figure it out. No, he was a coach at a previous stop. So in the end, if you go and you break it down, you got to understand what really happened. And it wasn't all injuries. A lot of it was self-inflicted. It was not good football. Like I said, a lot of games, the Saints were in a lot of these games over the last 3 years, and they couldn't finish the game. Either they would shoot themselves in the foot, or they would be involved with some type of miscue that hurts them. They'll throw an interception. They were in these games. A lot of these games weren't considered blowouts. They were in these games. And I've talked about that before. Now, when you talk about accountability and attention to detail, these are the things that rang true. Now, we've heard Dennis Allen talk about this, all throughout the off season. And I pinpointed it because he wasn't talking like that in year 1 or year 2. But he was basically almost nearly every press conference saying accountability and attention to detail, stuff that we was saying over and over again and stuff. But now it's here. So I want to see, I'm going to be patient with Dennis Allen. I'm still going to call out some of the stuff. If I see some stuff, I'm going to call it out because that's how I am. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to cover up nothing. I'm not going to play games with you. I'm going to tell you what I see. And I see with Dennis Allen, he talking the right talk. Now we at the point where can we get the team to walk the walk of the talk that Dennis Allen has put out for this season? That'll be the biggest thing. And then in that mindset, you got to understand that what they did, meaning the Saints built over the last 3 years, is what a good reporter would convey. So all you're doing is you're basically giving or speaking the game, painting a picture, not of something that you want to see. If somebody asks me my opinion, I'll humbly and gladly give it to them. But in the end, all I see, and I'm breaking down to the family members, or as I'm just journaling and putting out to the fan what I see from my team and why we're not succeeding in the way that we know we're supposed to. Also, another thing to take account of, family, is the fact that, remember, I'm big on timelines. I always talk about timelines. It's a time to be patient, and it's a time not to be patient. You get did you catch that? Because you can't have too much patience. Over patience basically is leading you into some procrastination. Where is the cutoff line? Follow me on this. Where is the cutoff line if you're waiting too long? And they talk about patience is a good thing. No, patience is a great thing if it's done in balance, in harmony to your process. Then it works. But too much of anything is not a good thing, including patience. Because it's a time to fight and it's a time not to fight. You get what you know what I'm saying? It's a time to be patient. And when that patient cuts off, you know what time it is, because there's a timeline. The Saints have 2 years with their current situation with players, older players, Demario Davis, the guy on the screen, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, even Foster Monroe, if you want to call him that. His contract is laced along with Cam Jordan, even to a degree, Derek Carr, even though he has that extra money on that, but he could be going in 2 years as well. This could be a different team. And if that happens, then you're going to see the expectations of the team drop a little bit because of the youth of the team. But when you have as many really good players within the timeline the Saints have constructed, you have 2 years to make it as far as you can go. 2 years. And after that, DeMario's gone, Tyrann Mathieu gone, Taysom Hill is gone, all Cam Jordan is gone. These guys, some of these guys are Hall of Famers. You are fortunate to have these guys on your team right now. That's why I'm saying the patient approach about from a long-term perspective, when he took the team over, the timeline was there. So it's basically a win or get fired scenario. That's basically what it is because of the expectations of this team having so many good players. They got to take the step. You get that? So anyway, I said that, man, just wanted to throw that out there. But listen, this is what Tyrann Mathieu had to say about Dennis Allen. We know he's pro Dennis Allen. We know that. This one comes via way of MSN.com. I think it's parsed from somebody else. I forget. But anyway, let's jump into it. Tyrann Mathieu says new vibe for Saints is because Dennis Allen is tired of getting pushed around. Hey, how about that? The Saints player said there's a new sense of urgency coming from Dennis Allen. A new sense of urgency, family. All right. Coming from DA as he enters his third year at the controls. In fact, star safety Tyrann Mathieu told reporters before week 1 that it comes down to Allen being tired of getting treated the same old way and that he perhaps found an, quote, alpha, end quote, way to approach things. That's a very interesting thought process there, right? Very interesting. Let's continue. What do you mean, sir? Let's continue. He says, I assume it's like he was tired of getting pushed around. Mathieu said, according to ESPN's Catherine Terrell, shout out to Catherine, tired of people not giving you the respect you deserve. So I think as a man, an alpha, I think he's handled it the way he should handle it. It's like, come in, get your chest out, speak up. I think we've all kind of seen it. We've been impressed with that, right? This is Tyrann. In an attempt to be better, imprint his own mark on the team, Allen went out and overhauled some of the coaching staff, including the arrival of offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. There's potential there with Carr, but there hasn't stopped the family members from hyping rookie Spencer Rattler this summer either. For Allen, the Saints, it will all come down to consistency. Last year, they started 2-0, then lost 4-5, then later won 4-5 to close the season. If nothing else, there's a chance to really start the new season off on the right foot with an opener against Carolina, a team that seems even lower on the rebuilding totem for the time being. So shout out to the reporter right here. Did a short, sweet type of article right here about DA. So Dennis Allen is tired of being pushed around. Is he now? And according to Tyrann, tired of people not giving you the respect you deserve. Yes. Head trauma. Ain't no head trauma over there. You talking good sense there. Nobody deserves respect. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. Family, in this world, listen, I know they got our garbage, evil, backwards, disgusting, awful, craptastic, what we call government is basically ignoring its people and doing other things that it shouldn't be doing right now. And that should be at least something that's handled by another group of nations, you know, and that's a whole nother show that I'm going to talk about again. But there is no situation, even within that, if you break it down. I talked about that on Q with Big Q, matter of fact, and I showed what was going on here. So if y'all want to learn, I'm going to be doing another show coming up soon, probably sometimes Monday. I'll have a new show because there's a lot to talk about. But even if that's perceived that's what it is for free stuff to be given or whatever the case may get, that's a trap. It's a trap. Because it's a trap. And I broke it down on that. But the awful thing about all of this in terms of the earn it principles is I don't teach my children to go out and with your hand out. You got to earn it because that's the world we live in. The most successful people in the world understand those principles, and the ones that are not very successful, you don't have to have millions of dollars to be considered a success, but the right mentality will put you where you belong, and you'll find yourself among those people that's successful. Nobody ain't giving you nothing, man. Nothing. You have to earn it. And I'll tell, and like I told y'all this before, love to me is respect. Come on now, put one in the chat if you understand. People say, what is love? Love is respect. Love is respect. Understand me now. When somebody respects you, that is a major form of love. That's big, because that's what you got in your relationship with your spouse. If you got somebody that love you, they respect the hell out of you. They respect what you say. They respect what you do. Why? Because you say, hey, man, can you give me some respect? Guess what? They don't do that. You showed it and you proved it, who you are. You've been 100% thorough and solid the majority of all of your life. And you made some mistakes, but at the same time, you're a stand-up individual with stand-up principles. That's how you get respect in this world from people. You can't go to the store and buy it. Your actions dictate respect. And when you got respect like that, man, that's a whole nother level. You can't pay for that. And that's like game to some of the guys out here. They thinking respect, you're going to get respect from women because you got a big wallet. Don't work like that, playboy. They'll respect the wallet and not your ass. And if you're stupid enough, they'll take the wallet and leave you without the wallet. Respect is something you earn through your actions over time. That's how that goes. So what has the actions? Now, Dennis Allen does get the respect he does from the Who Dat Nation because we give him the respect as a defensive coordinator. That's what he's earned. But he hadn't earned anything else if I'm missing on anything. He said he was getting tired of being pushed around. The guy's off code, bro. Who's pushing him around? And what alpha gets pushed around? See, this is what I'm saying about telling it like it is, man. These dudes be overselling stuff, man. They be all bought in. And a lot of times because of the money. You paying me this, so that's how it goes. Nah, we ain't going for that, because long before there was anything called football, they had code here. And all of that other stuff runs through it. So you understand, that's why I always tell the family members that if you discover they got off code people around you who are constantly off code, don't hang around them. Get away from them. They're going to bring you down. Get away from them. That's the same off code people, where it's your girlfriend or the guy, whatever the case may be, somebody you work with, shun them. Keep them away from you, because you don't need that around you. Off code behavior is very destructive. And it'll be that when you start rising, these same off-court people will be the ones that try to pull you down back to them. She thinks she's so much because she's up there because she worked and did the right stuff. Now, some of them don't. Some of them it's a cheat. Some of them cheat and do stuff they're not supposed to do, but that's short term, because once you obtain what you was cheating for, you'll realize that it'll turn into a hell. And see, you can't, like I say, man, you can't get away from the schools of this, man. There's no cheating in this, because even though they think they might cheat to these social climber type people that want to get up here, then when they get up there and get it, what they gave to get there is not nearly what they thought it was. Then it becomes a hell and another form of prison because of what you had to surrender to get that. You wasn't supposed to do that. You see that? Man, I'm telling you, this how it works here. You got to do the right thing. That's how the reward becomes a major blessing for you. The reward becomes a blessing for you. It's when you do it the right way. Only when you do it the right way. Ask these rappers out here that's doing all this in here stuff. Look how they tan each other up. And then when they get what they looking for, then they realize it's not what it was, and they gave up too much to get it, and they realize it's some BS. Then they stole dope and drug, and then they dead. because they got to find a way to cope with what they did because it's constantly reminding them of what they did. So they have to drug it out to try to dope their senses. And a lot of them end up getting out of here early because of the bargains that they made in this world, which you're not supposed to make. Let's tell the truth, man. Keep it real. We don't have time for this. All these children need to learn this. All these young guys, these young people out here running around, they got to learn this, man. We don't have time to play with these people on this. Too much is at stake. All right. So anyway, let's finish this up, man. This whole thing about Dennis Allen. And listen, I can't fall. I like Tyrann Mathieu, man. He's from my city. I think Tyrann's from the 7th Ward. I'm from the lower 9. I'm from the lower 9, across the canal, Tennessee Street, for my New Orleans people. Born and raised. Now, I moved all around the city, but that's where we come from. That's where we spend a lot of our time there. Now, the reason I say that is because when we talk about the New Orleans Saints organization is the respect aspect. In my opinion, Dennis Allen is a good defensive coordinator, but that don't buy you the respect that you're looking for in terms of a head coach if you are not winning there. You had a 9-8 mark in a 9 playoff year. Some people will give you some credit for that. I'm not going to give you no credit for that, brother. And I'll tell you why very fairly. I'll tell you very fairly why I'm not going to give you credit for 9-8 in a 9 playoff year because of the stakes that's involved with the Saints timeline, with the team. You have to win right now. We're not going to be having this really awesome group of people for the next couple of years. Each year, these guys get older. We are so fortunate to have a Demario Davis, a Tyrann Mathieu, a Cam Jordan, and Taysom, and all these other guys. They're up there in age, but these guys are incredibly productive at that age. They're incredibly productive. We have to be able to take advantage of their talent right now, because in a couple of years, they're going to get a little older, and eventually the contract expires. You got to reset the room. You got to reset everything. So no, I can't give you 9-8 when I know why you were 9-8, and it was because of you not making the decisions you were supposed to be doing. See, I remember. See, a lot of these people don't remember. They got short-term memory loss or long-term memory loss. They don't remember or don't care to remember why the Saints were losing those games when people were saying that Dennis Allen needs to make a change at the offensive coordinator. Take him out, put Curry in there. 2 years when Carmichael was there and all of this craziness was going on, people were pushing and prodding Dennis Allen to make changes to change up the offense because the offense wasn't going anywhere. Dennis Allen kept promising change, but made no change. Even the media kept asking him almost every week, is there going to be a change? And he said, no, there will be no change. And then you get to the end of the year and then he says, I'm pissed off. How are you pissed off? Is it my fault? You pissed off at me? What did I do? No, we don't know. I'm pissed off that we lost. No, we lost because of your inability to make decisions in timely manner. That's why we lost. See, I understand why we lost those games because I was watching the games. We do the play-by-play every Sunday on these games. I remember the great majority of that stuff. I do. And I understand, Dennis Allen, I see why you lost that game. I see why you did this. I see why you did that. I got the vast majority of it. So when people approach me about Dennis Allen and about him coming forward this year, I said, man, listen, I'm going to give Dennis Allen a chance because in year 1 and 2, he wasn't talking like this. Year 3, he's talking like this and acting like this is because he's under the gun. Where was this mentality and attitude in year 2? It wasn't there. You know why? Because he felt comfortable, just like Mickey Loomis feels comfortable. But somebody got to take the smoke. And look how Loomis looked last year when he didn't handle the smoke well, did he, fam? Did Loomis handle that smoke well? Look how he looked at the end of the season press conference. Look how he looked in there, chewing that gum, his eyes bulging. He was on something. His face was all flushed, talking crazy, making weird comparisons. That's what pressure do to you. So you can sit up here and makeshift and pretend like you don't hear what we're saying, but you'll feel it though. You can sit up here and pretend like it's a silent this, that, or the third. It ain't silent, player. You can keep playing these Sesame Street ass games all you want, but I live in the real world, and in the real world, the people run the world. And if you got these other people running the world, it's because the people advocated their power. All we have to do is say, okay, I'm taking this back, and you can't do nothing about it. That's what it come down to. So, man, listen, man, I hear what Tyron's saying, and I expect Tyron Matthew to say that about Dennis Allen, man, but understand I respect his opinion, but at the same time, respect mine. I know about Dennis Allen. I ain't taking no checks from Dennis Allen to be biased. Because I'm pretty sure if it was she was on other foot, he wouldn't tell you the truth about it. He'll keep spending it the same way. They all do. They spend it the same way. They're getting paid to think that way. But anyway, are you guys thinking Dennis Allen has a new perspective? He put alpha dog in that dog. You spreading it on too thick, man. Even Dennis Allen is non, man. We know what an alpha dog is, man. And that's not Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's not no alpha dog, man. A alpha dog wouldn't hire a coach and bring him on the team, an offensive coach to bring him on like Clint Kubiak, and then say through their offense in a press conference, he says through the offense, that would accountability and attention to detail from that offense will filter through to the rest of the team. What? Where they do that at? He said that. Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. He said that. I had to stop it and replay it. That's a very interesting thought process there, Dennis. I think accountability is supposed to trickle down, or let it rain from the skies, let it inundate the team from the coach. It's supposed to come from the coach. That's on high. It's supposed to come from the coach down through the team. Accountability, because they have to understand that jobs could be taken if you don't perform your job correctly. We're not playing with you. We got to win. We got to represent the Who Dat Nation. Look at the ones. So, like I said, man, and I've said this before, I'm going to give Dennis Allen a chance. I'm going to give Dennis Allen a chance because I like how Dennis Allen is talking. I like what he was saying. So I'll give you an opportunity to earn my respect. And you have to do what you're supposed to do. Now, also, on the other side of it, you talk about accountability and attention to detail and building a stronger team. And then you operate out of the protection matrix, which is then trying to form a bubble of security around the starting quarterback. That don't make no sense to me, because these are two young quarterbacks. What could they be threatened by? How could they threaten this 11-year veteran making $150 million? These guys are making basically chicken feed compared to that guy. How could that be the case? What's going on here? Because unlike when they say that we don't pay attention to the expectations or the stuff that's outside of the building, well, a clear example that they are paying attention to the stuff that's outside of the building is the fact that they recognize the majority of the Who Dat Nation like Spencer Rattler and sees him as a big portion of the future for the team. And they see that too, which would explain why there is a bit of controversy of who the second quarterback is. And people will say, Q, it don't matter who the second quarterback is, Q. It don't matter, right? It don't matter at all. And I tell them, you got to be out your goddamn mind. Hell yeah, it matter. Yeah, it matter, because one play and that guy's in the game. All it takes is one play. Y'all seen what happened to Jordan Love in that game? In that Green Bay Philly game when Jordan Love got hit by that guy, you seen that? And then that next thing you know, he rubbing on his leg now. One play is all it takes for the next man to get in the game. That's football. So hell yeah, the second job matter, who the guy gonna be. Hell yeah, it matters. One play, the man's a starter, just like that. Unfortunately, that's the league we live in. All right. So anyway, let's move on, man. Let's get this. Y'all got any questions? Throw it in the chat, fam. I'm gonna try to get out of here in about 30 minutes. I got an LSU game to watch against Nichols. All right, but Saints, and this is Friday's injury report right here, fam. That happened for y'all, for most of the guys or the family members that hadn't seen it yet. Please. I'm sorry, I was reading this message. All right, this is the injury report. Put it on full screen for you guys here. Saints four Saints listed as out for week 1's matchup against the Carolina Panthers. And they had 9 Saint players listed on the Friday injury report who were considered out. Pete Werner with the shoulder, he's back to normal. He's looking like he's ready to be a full participant in the game, which is good. Then we have Willie Gay, who's dealing with a back issue. He was limited all week. He's listed as questionable, right? And all right, sorry about that. All right, so anyway, let's see. We had Willie Gay listed as questionable all week. Marshawn Lattimore was listed as limited on Wednesday, but he fully practiced, which is he's on the plus side of this thing. Nick Saldiveri was limited and listed as questionable. Jalen Ford, we talked about this. I told y'all he wasn't going to play. He didn't play. He's out. Dalen Hawker was listed as out, and DeMarco Jackson. All those guys are out along with Kalen Saunders. So, and of course, we have A.T. Perry, who was dealing with a hand issue. He was DNP'd and listed as questionable. I would say that probably all these questionable players are probably not going to play, fam. You know, I'm just going to say that and expect the Saints to make some moves coming up on tomorrow morning, or we'll cover it all on it. The pregame show tomorrow on the Sports Coma. Y'all hit the notification bells. We'll be back to business week number 1 tomorrow. We'll have the breakdown, the pregame, during game, halftime, post game, the post game interviews. We play all that here, and then we'll have Pops Q to pop back in his regular role. Y'all remember my Pops was part of the post game last year. He'll be returning, so he'll be on the show tomorrow recapping the matchup. So good to see him back up. Shout out to my Pops Q. All right, so A.T. Perry is listed as question, but like I said, fam, I don't think any of these guys are going to play. I'd be surprised if Willie Gay plays. I don't think he'll play tomorrow. There's no need for him to play. Like if you got Pete Werner, it's good to go. You got Anthony Orji, they might have to move in there and play or activate another linebacker perhaps because you have Pete, you have DeMario, Willie's listed as questionable, or perhaps he'd just be a guy to keep active until if something were to happen for them to need to play him, they'll roll him in there. But you have Anthony Orji and then the 2 other linebackers, which the Saints have 6 in their active roster, which is Jalen Ford and DeMarco Jackson are both listed as out. So they'll probably swap players or if they need to from the practice squad there and activate them, make them a game day activation, right? All right, Dalen Hawker's out, so we knew that was going on with the ankle issue. And then Kalen Saunders, we know that Bink more than likely wasn't going to play with that calf issue. That's why the Saints traded to get John Ridgeway III here, the veteran, who would be making some plays for the Saints there in the interior defensive line. And A.T. Perry more than likely will be shut down too. Now, if you look at Carolina's side of things, Carolina have a few people that's out. Ian Thomas, the tight end, is out, and so is Tommy Tremble. So they'll be operating with Sanders. I'm thinking it might be Sanders, the exciting young rookie we were talking about in the NFC. Well, not in the NFC, right? In the Saints Panthers preview, we were talking about you possibly going to see Sanders there as a guy that is he's going to be problematic, man. So, man, we'll see what's happening with Willie Gay, man. Because we need Willie to cover those cornerbacks, man. I mean, those tight ends, those athletic ones, man. Pete Werner can't keep up with those guys, man. That's why we brought Willie Gay in here. So we'll see what's going on with that. And of course, Nijman, who's the tackle for them, is listed as questionable with a tibia. Miles Sanders, the running back, the backup running back behind Chuba Hubbard, will be good to go. And Troy Hill, who's the nickel back, I believe, for the Carolina Panthers defense, is fully practiced from a heel issue, and he'll be good to go. So there you go on some of the stuff right there. So we got a couple of guys that will be questionable going forward. So we'll see if Willie is probably the most, not like A.T. Perry. I don't think nothing happening with him. I don't think he plays, but seeing where Willie Gay is, and because he's here because of that. He's here because of his athletic ability to cover those tight ends so they don't harm us. So anyway, let's keep it moving, fam. Let's kind of bounce and shake to this one right here. And this was another article right here from Saints Wire. Shout out to John Sigler, always putting in the good work. John has this article, says ex-Saints linebacker Zack Baun had big-time debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all guys seen the game yesterday. Zack Baun was all over the place. He delivered a big spot for his new in a big spot for this new team, the Eagles. The Eagles left Brazil with a win over Green Bay on Friday night. Baun's efforts were a big part of their success. The former Saint linebacker ended the night with 15 combined tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, including a game winner off of Malik Willis, who had replaced the injured Jordan Love. And it's not like Baun was cleaning up tackles 8 or 9 yards down field. According to official NFL game book, Baun averaged 3 yards per tackle on his 15 stops. Just 2 of those tackles ended after the Packers offense gained 8 or more yards. He had 5 stops at or behind the line of scrimmage and 3 more within 2 yards of it. He just needed this opportunity, which he wasn't given in New Orleans. The Saints already had DeMario locked in at one linebacker spot, but they chose to draft Pete Werner, and linebackers coach Michael Hodges they couldn't figure out how to get Baun on the field for most of the 4 years he spent in New Orleans. He was a fifth of his 660 career defensive snaps with the Saints. 142 came in the final 6 games. He played in the Saints uniform. He played almost twice as many snaps on special teams, 1293. What's even more frustrating is that Baun wasn't used much different in Vic Fangio's Eagles defense than we've seen in Allen's system. Now, PFF charting, he lined up on the line of scrimmage as a pass rusher outside linebacker just 12 times. Just like he did with the Saints, Baun spent the majority of his 67 defensive snaps off the ball as an inside linebacker, 47 times. He covered the slot 7 times and was once asked to cover a receiver, out wide. Still, the fact that Baun had many sacks in his first game with the Eagles, as he did in 64 appearances with the Saints, including 2 playoffs games, is embarrassing. It's highlighting a common criticism of the team extending even beyond Allen's tenure. The Saints have struggled to draft, develop, and retain their own talent over the years. And Baun is another great example of it, just like Trey Hendrickson, Marcus Williams, Alex Anzalone, and Caden Ellis, among other players. Too many draft day gambles and picks spent chasing upside have come back to haunt them. When Baun signed with the Eagles this spring, it left Cesar Ruiz as the only member of the team's 2020 draft class that's still on the roster. Ruiz and McCarr are only draft picks remaining, the only draft picks remaining from the 2019 and 2018 draft classes. And of the 6-man 21 class, Pete Werner is the only member to have signed a new deal. It feels unlike Peyton Turner returns next year, and Paulson Adebo may be priced out of the free agent market. So there's a good chance Baun isn't the last player drafted by the Saints to go on and find more success somewhere else, but the Saints family members will get a good look at him in just a few weeks when Baun and the Eagles visit the Caesars Superdome on September the 22nd. So you'll see Zack Baun in green, right, and coming right at you, right? So let's talk about it. Does the Zack Baun, and he makes John Sigler, shout out to John Sigler, really good article, really insightful. What I like about this, the commentary here is pretty simple. I agree with all these points here. He's absolutely right. The Saints draft, and we talked about how and what the Saints did. We know that Sean Payton was the one that picked up on this Zack Baun. They traded up to get Zack Baun. And the idea that Sean Payton was saying that he wanted to use him as a situational pass rusher. They wanted to use him here or there. And when they got him, remember, he was a guy that was mostly used as a rusher out of college. He had like 11 sacks in Wisconsin. He had like 11 sacks. But he wasn't one of those guys you can use as a linebacker. They tried to do it and it didn't work, and they kind of went away from it, right? And it just wasn't a good look for Coach Payton and how he did it. But that's how the Saints draft has been. That's what I was saying about the Saints with the kick in the can philosophy, like bringing in guys, doing this kind of stuff that we've seen them do over the last 3 years. It was not just the fact the Saints are failing. They're not getting a lot out of the draft picks. They're not developing these guys like they're supposed to, like we talk about Cesar Ruiz, and Cesar Ruiz to me didn't have a really strong season last year. Did y'all really get a good look at Cesar Ruiz last year? How he was missing blocks and all that? to me, if you look at the tape, and it's not saying much, but Andrews Pete was the most solid guy we had playing last year, not McCoy, not in my opinion. Watching all of the film and stuff that I watched in the games and all the film, man, McCoy was always on the ground. Cesar Ruiz was missing blocks. It was like they didn't know who they was blocking. It just looked crappy. Now, later on in the year, it got better when they all synced. But a lot of times last year was very frustrating watching the offensive line look like what it did. And really, to me, Cesar Ruiz only had one solid year. One solid year since he's been out here. Prior to that, I said just to y'all before, like when I remember we used to have this term we used to call Cesar Ruiz down here in New Orleans, because I used to call the man Caesar Salad Ruiz. That's what he was playing like to me. And it wasn't his fault entirely, because the Saints made the man play out of position. He had to learn a whole nother position. And that's Sean Payton was doing that. That's some of the things that Sean Payton did that weakened the team. Instead of drafting guys that could play the position, he would try to challenge him. I think it had to be him challenging himself. In my mind, like, what's the psychological practice of drafting people and then saying we're going to turn them into this? And then when you get them, you draft them, then you say, hey, man, let me see what McCoy looks like at the center position. Hold on, bro. Stop the presses. You just drafted this man to play center. Now you saying that you want McCoy to try it and see what he looks like after drafting him? And then that's all on Peyton now. He then let McCoy get the reps first in practice to see what he looks like. I'm going to try to see what he looks like again. And then they switched it later on to Cesar Ruiz playing the center, and he was doing good. Then he got hurt, and then they scrapped the experiment, and then Ruiz went back to playing guard, and McCoy stayed at center. But Sean Payton was trying to move McCoy off center. He was trying to make him a guard. He wanted to find himself a new center. So in Sean Payton's head, I'm thinking that he didn't like McCoy at guard. Why would you take a center there instead? If you really believed in McCoy, you'd have took another guard to put him there. And they had some good ones there. But he chose this guy, Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, and then flipped him to a center. Man, they never played guard before. So he had to go through all the bumps and bruises. He got Drew Brees hurt in the game. Remember that? So, and I said that prior to the season. I said, bro, you don't want to mess around with the Saints offensive line when you got a quarterback that runs like he's in quicksand. Drew's at the back of his career at the time. He could not get out of harm's way. He ran like his feet was stuck in cement. And he couldn't get out of harm's way. And when that rookie guy made a mistake and Drew Brees got knocked on his ass in there. But these are the type of things that Sean Payton was doing. He would draft players out of position. And I think he would try to challenge himself to try to turn them into something as opposed to taking a more finished product. We don't have time for that. When you get these guys, you have them on a 4 or 5 year window, depending on where you draft them in the draft. And you have to get the most out of these guys as soon as you get them up to speed and get them to contribute. You got to know what their skill set is and if they can help you, and get them there as fast as you can and shorten that learning curve as much as you can to get as much value out of them, because you're on a timeline. You don't have forever. And then your timeline gets shortened via the way if some of these players get hurt, then that cuts off their learning process to a degree of getting them out there so you can see what you got to do. So you kind of always fighting uphill, so to speak, with some of these people. So you have to do your very best to make sure you line them up. But getting Zack Baun, and you're right, one of the family members said in the chat that he didn't fit what the Saints was doing. Not entirely. But the Saints, when they drafted him, and Sean Payton, if you go back, and it's on this channel, by the way, because you probably won't find it on YouTube, but you can go back in archives. I played the interviews at the time. What was the logic for why Sean Payton took Zack Baun? And he said that he wanted to turn Zack Baun. He was going to use him as a situational pass rusher. That never truly materialized. Then when Sean Payton left and Dennis Allen got him, he held on to him, but at the same time, the Saints really, toward the back end of his career, they actually started getting more familiar with how they can utilize him. That's why they had success. But a part of that was Zack Baun, a lot of that, because Nephi Sewell was an undrafted linebacker, outplayed Zack Baun for the linebacker spot. Y'all remember that? It's all about how you use these guys, and let there be a lesson to pick up guys that's familiar with, you can pull right into your system that can help you, unless these guys are severely talented where you believe that it's worth the risk of getting them from a different system and putting them into your system and you see so much value in him, that's a different thing. Like, man, these guys do this, man, he can learn this, he can learn. I know he can do it, because you got all the information, you know how intelligent the player is. They make him take the tests. You talk to his coaches. He might have went back into his history and figure out before he transferred to the school where he got drafted out, the school that was, he was there when he first went to, played a similar style system to what you have, even though that the team you're drafting them from doesn't. So you do your homework on that, and you talk to them about this, that, and the third, and you figure it out. Then you make the call. That's how it go. But we haven't seen a lot of that lately with the Saints drafts. The Saints drafts have not been really that good. They've been hitting on the undrafted market a lot. The Saints have really been hitting on the undrafted market. They've really been hitting on the undrafted. Juwan Johnson, JT Gray. Who else we got? It's a bunch of them. They hit on Rashid Shaheed. He's probably one of the biggest ones we got. And there's others. Rico Payton is a solid one. Anthony Orgy is going to be a baller for us. Carl Granderson. I mean, we are literally loaded with undrafted talent. So we've been hitting on the undrafted players more so than the drafted players. An undrafted player is our DE1. And one of the top picks several years ago is DE2. So the Saints have definitely done that, So, I mean, we got to fix that, man. We got to kind of get that together. Yeah. And it's all about how you use players. So like I said, Saints Baun, they never truly used them the way they said they were going to use them to justify picking them where they picked them at. They didn't use them correctly. So, and yeah, we mentioned Trey Hendrickson. People talked about Trey Hendrickson and how they had Trey Hendrickson here, and Trey balled out that last year, but their writing was already on the wall. They were decided to move on with Davenport, and boy, how that turned out pretty bad. That turned out really bad. Now Peyton Turner ain't coming back here unless he take a cheap deal to stay here, man. Peyton Turner ain't coming back. The Saints brung in Chase Young, and they declined Peyton Turner's fifth-year option, which makes him unrestricted. Saints are not going to bring Peyton Turner back here. Why? They're not going to bring him back. And how he's supposed to prove himself if he's buried behind Chase Young? If injuries hit the room up, that might be a different thing. But I don't see Peyton Turner sticking and staying with the Saints unless he takes a real cheap contract. And that's another first-round draft pick that might possibly follow Davenport. So we pick players to be like Davenport, and that's exactly what this kid might do. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. All right. So anyway, fam, let's keep it going, man. I got a few more minutes. If y'all got any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, man. Much love to the fam here in this episode of the show, man. How y'all feel? They got a poll question up there. Ask the family, what will be the outcome for the Saints in week number 1? There are 4 options there. Win big. 44% of the family members, over 150 people polled, said that the Saints will beat Carolina big. 32% will say win close. 18% says they don't know, and 0% says a loss to Carolina. No, I'm sorry, 6%. 6% of the people say that. So anyway, big ups to you guys right there. So it's good to see mostly wins right there. So we're looking at like 76% of the family members believe the Saints will win in some capacity against Carolina. You could put me down too, because I think we beat Carolina. I just don't know if it'll be big or small, but I think it'll be win. I think we win between 7 to 3 points. I'll be happy if it's a blowout win, because that will set the tone of the season really well and build up the momentum going into the Cowboys matchup in Dallas. That's going to be fun. But hopefully, just take it one step at a time, run the football, and just do it like that. Don't turn it over. Control your miscues. And like I said, I don't expect them to be free of error. I expect a lot of errors to occur, but do your best from a discipline standpoint to make less errors than your opponent. Usually when that happens, we win. When they make more mistakes than us, we win. We can't have it the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? All right. Big ups to you guys, man. Questions, man. Y'all please feel free. I got about another 15 minutes, man, before I dirk on out, like I like to say. Big ups to y'all in this thing, man. All right. All right. Jack says we want banners, not fake planners. We want division titles in one of the weakest divisions. They forget all that. See, and that's the thing about it. I want people, the Great Saint Think Tank, that's why it was created, man. The Great Saint Think Tank out of the Who Dat Nation is an invitation to all the most intelligent Saint supporters in the world. That's what the Great Saint Think Tank is. That's what it is. And the reason why I say that is because you can't have conversations with all these people. There's a lot of pandering going on. It's a lot of, you can't have like real talk about sports. How can I not have a real discussion about sports with the family members? A real breakdown, a talk, a discussion about my team. There is no cloud in my eyes about who my team is. Hell, I've done all the research. I know what this team is and what they could potentially be. And I also realize the pluses and minuses of this team. And I lay that out all the time. I'm not going to sit up here and say the Saints going to walk through the NFL and be a Super Bowl team. Oh, they could be if they are true to what their coach is saying, accountability and attention to detail, then we going to go far. You know, that's as real as it get. I can't cotton candy you, man, with some BS to puff you up. And if I'm puffing you up on some BS, man, you're going to fall hard, man, and bust your ass. I don't want to be responsible for puffing you up. So when you crash down, I say, man, Q the one that told me this. I ain't going to do that to you, fam. I'm going to keep it real with you and keep you grounded and centered to what we got going. Because too many seasons, fam, how often you guys have puffed yourself up and then the Saints let you down? That happened to me. It happened to me last year. I'm going to tell you what game it was. It was in the Atlanta Falcons game, the first one, when I bet my dog Low. Shout out to my brother Low from the Low Country Sports Atlanta side of things. And we made a bet. We made a bargain. And the bargain was, listen, man, if I win, you know, and listen, I bet Low before and won, and the Saints handled their business. And this is what happened to Low. That's what happened to Low's ass, right? Shout out to my dog Low, man. But listen, that's what I'm saying, fam. And see, I got my issue then. See, he got his issue, and then I turn around the next time, and that was the first game last year when that was the Derek Carr pick 6 game. I had to put on the Falcon shirt. Y'all remember that? That wasn't too fun, you know? And yeah, they love that on the Falcon side of things. Boy, they love that. They ran with that. It was all over X and all that kind of crap. Twitter. They were cutting up on that. They was real happy on that. They were loving that. They were loving the hell out of that. But see, I wasn't loving that at all. I was like, man, listen, there was no reason for the Saints to go in that game and lose the game the way it did. And then Derek Carr said that stuff about he congratulated the man, not after the game, but during the game, after he pick sixed him, after Bates pick sixed him, he congratulated him on the field during the game for pick sixing him. I never heard that before. Never heard anybody stupid enough to congratulate a man for pick sixing him during the game when it can ultimately lead to you losing the game, which it did. Never heard that. In all of the craziness I've seen with Aaron Brooks and all these other quarterbacks, where Aaron Brooks would throw a interception and just start laughing to himself, that type of stuff. That was on that was that level of ridiculousness. I was like, what? It was just foolish. But yeah, I wasn't feeling that too happy. I was not very happy about that, man. And that's why I said, yeah, and never again. Y'all gonna have to prove this. After that, that's when I was like, nah, no. You gonna win. You gonna earn this support back. I don't want to hear all that puffed up propaganda bullshit out of the Saints headquarters about believe and all. No. Put up facts. Show something. Bring something to the table and prove and earn the respect of the family base back again. Don't come miss me with that all that other nonsense, man. We done did that. We done gave you leeway and you failed. over and over again, and then got the nerve to stand up here and tell people they're unqualified and be mad at you because you failing. No, I never heard of such ridiculousness, man. Never heard of that. And besides, I was saying the whole time, like, man, listen, if you going, I like, when is this guy with all these horrible losses going to apologize to the Who Dat Nation? Not one press conference in the last 3-something odd years that you heard him apologize to the Who Dat Nation, but he took his ass out there and did it for the Falcons. He apologized to the Falcons. Never told you not one apology for all the shitty losses we've had, but apologize to the Falcons. No, sir. No, sir. Off code behavior. All right. Let's keep it going, man. This is shit. I ain't do this shit. These people did this. This is what I'm talking about. It sound messed up because that's their actions. I'm reporting to people what they did, and you've seen it too. And I'm not going to forget that. They have to make that right. All right. So Jackson, sometimes better to be lucky than smart. Mickey got lucky with Peyton and Breeze. Now we are seeing that he isn't that smart. How about that, Jack? How about that? And I said that at the time when I started showing, when I started that Mickey campaign, family, what, the year before last, when I started showing people, I'm like, listen, man, when Sean Payton left, it was a clear psych check, a mental evaluation of who was doing what in the Saints building. When he left, you seen who all the lackeys were. When he left, you seen where the brains was and who was doing what they're doing. When he left, you seen who was the gopher. And where the vision came from, it was all Peyton. That's why Mickey Loomis didn't want to let him go. Didn't want to let him go. Peyton exposed all. He showed that Pete Carmichael was a lackey. That's why he never let him call plays, because he didn't have the temperament for it, the alpha dog mentality. He's more like a secretary. Help him craft them Waffle House menus in a laminator. You know, it. And then you see what role Mickey Loomis was. And Mickey Loomis was a gopher. He didn't have no vision, because a man with vision would have not hired dennisallen because Sean Payton told him to. A man with vision would have not done that. After talking to Super Bowl winning coaches or players with coaches with potential, and wouldn't have done that, man. Never would have done that. But you see who these people are, and you see how ridiculous a lot of the moves are making, and you're like, man, damn, how is it going to get better? Well, those guys have to learn, and they have to be able to move on out the way to let people who might know how to do it. The problem is they like to hold power, and the guys above them do not want to change the antiquated structure how the Saints are currently built. They're bad built. Let's just say that they're a bad built organization. You got two people, 1 and 2, that sit on top of the organization. Y'all know who they are. I don't need to say their names, but both of those guys have very limited football knowledge on field of how things operate, and they over rely on the third guy, which is a stupid philosophy, because you are all winning and losing with one man as opposed to a panel of people. Just ridiculous. But we'll see how it all works, right? We'll see how it all works. All right. What's up, Levon? Shout out to you, man. Raquel says DA don't have the power. Just make those changes that was on Mickey, not DA. DA tried to get rid of Pete. I don't believe that, bro, at all. If dennisallen says that he wants to get rid of somebody, Mickey Loomis will say yes. That's not Mickey Loomis to jump up there and protect anybody if it's not dennisallen or Derek Carr. That's one thing I know for certain, fam, is that Mickey Loomis will do whatever his coach asks him to do. So he'll say, if I want this guy, he would get him for him. That's one thing Mickey Loomis will do, even if he can't afford it, like with Derek Carr. They couldn't afford Derek Carr, but they found a way to do it. Even if it burden the tax and mess up the team from a cap perspective, he did it because that's what dennisallen wants. So you mean to tell me Pete Carmichael, whose money don't mean nothing to the Saints organization, he would have a problem getting rid of him if dennisallen wanted to get rid of him? Psh, boy, that dude was smoke goose if DA wanted him gone. If he wanted him gone, he's gone. So, yeah, that's one thing I say about Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis will do, if you the head coach of the team, Mickey Loomis will bend over backwards for you. He really will. he will bend over backwards for you. He's done it for Sean Payton. He's done it for Dennis Allen. Whatever they want, he would try to get it for him. He would try to get it for him. That's one thing I know about Mickey Loomis, for real. Earl says, I have respect for DA for the defense. Exactly. But definitely lost me for the head coach. He is so far from alpha. Any man grab another man's belly, patting him while Arthur Smith berated our team. Indeed, man. Earl, remember? But that's Tyrann Matthew sit up here talking about trying to compare him to alpha. And he just pandering, man. What you expect the guy who getting paid by the team? What do you expect him to do? Tell the truth? Keep it real? He ain't gonna mess up his money for nobody. Getting paid by the team. That's usually how it goes. If you're getting paid by the team, you're getting paid by the team not to criticize the team. That's why Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore was having difficulties. Right? One in the chat. The only people that's having difficulties with the Saints organization right now, at some point contractually speaking, was Marshawn Lattimore, who they restructured his contract to trade him, but then reneged. And then Alvin Kamara, who they can't seem to get anything done by. And I played the video, dug it out of the archives, and showed you the video where Alvin's like, they wanted me to do something and I didn't want to do it. Then the reporters say, you try to then move or misdirect the conversation toward Demario Davis and somebody else's contract. I think it was Tyrann Matthews' contract. And he was like, it's basically, no, it's different. Because it's a difference, because Alvin and Marshawn was criticizing Dennis Allen and the culture of the team, which was a flip-floppish, back-ass, garbage time culture. And those guys were very vocal about that. Well, Mickey Loomis didn't like that. How dare you tell the truth about the Saints? How dare you do that? How dare you? I don't believe this guy. Who the hell do you think he is? Oh, he thinks he's Mickey Loomis? Well, he can't be. I'm Mickey Loomis. How dare that guy? Oh, my God. Yeah, how dare he tell the truth about the Saints? And now Alvin shut off contract demands with the Saints. And Marshawn Lattimore, more than likely, this is last year with the team, and they might end up trading him just so they can free up money to bring Paulson Adebo. We'll see how it works. But in the end, those two guys were a part of the fractured teams, some of them, because those are the biggest two. They had others that were part of the fractured, non-existent players that Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen said weren't there. Tyrann Matthew, he wasn't. Here you go. He wasn't on that team. He calling Dennis Allen an alpha or comparing him to an alpha. You don't tell me that's some bullshit. He play ball if they pay him to. Demario Davis wasn't on that. With all Demario Davis's beautiful words that he says, Demario Davis wasn't on that time. He wasn't rocking. Lattimore say, man, we gotta stop this, man. We losing out here, man. We gotta get it right. We gotta do it. Yeah, he wasn't on that time. He wasn't on that time. All right, 504 Coach says, Q, what's your thoughts on Zack Baun's performance? I thought it was awesome, bro. Zack Baun was a dude that has a ton of talent. It's just how you get the talent. That's what I was saying, man. All these guys have talent. When you draft them, there got to be a vision for these players and how you're going to utilize them in your system. Philadelphia fits exactly what he does. Saints could have had the same thing. But in the end, they had him for years and they wasn't doing nothing with him. Don't surprise me at all. He went up there and had a good time, man. It's pretty good. All right, students, so you think the Saints cornerbacks can handle the Chiefs tight ends and wide receivers? Oh, man. That's a great question, student. Well, Chiefs tight ends, Kels is one of the best in the game, man. Their wide receivers are explosive. And Xavier Worthy is awesome, man. The speed that he has. It's going to be a test, man. Kansas City is trying to push for another Super Bowl trip, another trophy. They're going to be a tough out for the Saints, but I have confidence in our secondary. If our secondary is healthy, I think they'll be up for the challenge. We need Willie Gay there though, because Willie Gay knows that system to a degree, right? When he's comfortable and familiar with Kansas City, he's played in that defense, so he can give us some game on what we need to do, right? On how, some inside football rather, on how to defend against the Chiefs offense if there's such a thing. So we need Willie Gay there for real, man. That'll answer a lot of questions because Willie Gay would be he practice up against these tight ends. He's not blindsided by all of the lights and all this kind of stuff of these players, right? I know we need Willie Gay there, to be honest with you. I think our secondary will hold up, but we really need Willie Gay in that game, that Chiefs game, fam, not Pete Werner. No disrespect to Pete, man, but Pete would get cooked by Kels. Yeah, that one, we need Willie in that one, fam. Thank you, student. Jermaine says, what's up, Q? Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Eli, of course, brother. Panthers by 3. All right. I hear you, fam. And Atlanta blows out the Browns, huh? Yeah, you probably say, hell yeah, Q, how you knew? Yeah, I know. I can guess. We lose by 3, but y'all beat the Browns. I get you. John says, Q, we missing something. Is Mickey right? Is DA the second coming to? No. It is the thing is the Saints are incredibly talented. This is not like his Raiders stint. To a degree, I understand what happened with the Raiders. He had to basically rebuild the team. But the Saints had talent there, and every year the Saints added more talent to the team to make the team better, but the team just could not get to where it is. And a lot of times it's because of the vision of the head coach. You got to make adjustments. We can't always use the injury excuse because you have depth charts. Every year you go into it, you have to do your best to bring in talent to your team to absorb the losses of potentially what could be injuries. So everybody deals with them. Everybody has injuries, but the statement is, how do you deal with the injuries that you have? Do you then, when injuries start mounting, do you make trades? Do you make signings? Do you bring in? You see what I'm saying? You got to get proactive and active and start doing things that's needed to keep your team at a certain level. If you're having these type of issues, and we've seen teams that have issues because every team get the injuries, they got to keep moving. They got to go into free agency and sign people. They got to go in. They see a guy they like, try to see if they can trade for him. Try to see if you can develop somebody off the practice squad, bring them in there to maybe try to see if they can help you kind of get around it. It's a game, man. It's a game that you are willing to play once you become a head coach. You got to be able to move around a little bit on that. You see, Wyo says everybody talking down about black gold. He says don't gonna buck jump when we block it. I don't know who's talking down. Who you see him talking down in here? Wyo, who's saying that? Chantel says, Q, let's hope the Saints don't lose to Carolina. Nah, they're not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose to Carolina. The Saints will beat Carolina. Yeah, G says Jeff Ireland. Maybe Jeff's methods are getting a little still. I mean, sometimes, bro, some of the offense, front office youth movements. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The Saints have been doing this, and they're a team that don't like to change. I mean, from an echelon administrator perspective, it's that, if you got a guy like Mickey Loomis has several former general managers that work for the team. A couple of guys, he's subbing them out to do general manager duties so he can sit up here and hold the power for the general manager. He has a job, got 2 jobs. He's a VP, barely does the general manager stuff right. And most of the time, inside baseball say a lot of the GM contract stuff is being done by Kyle Hartley. So what is he doing? He's sitting up there holding the power of the general manager because it's a visual position, as a pitch, as a vision, being a position that requires you to be talked to. And he's an attention whore. He likes to talk about, be seen on camera and have these discussions. He don't need to have 2 jobs at this age. You done did it for 20 years. Get up off the general manager job and give it to somebody. He told somebody in the press conference last year, he might do it for another 10 years. I was like, man, see, you don't have any leadership. If this fool talking about doing it for another 10 years, and he already the oldest general manager in the game is beyond him. Can't you tell you don't know when things are beyond somebody? They're living off the heyday. You got to know when to adjust and move. That's the whole point of the conversation. That's why I keep saying it over and over again. I'm like, man, this dude's sitting on it. He is literally blocking change from the top. He's sitting on 2 jobs. He can do the VP job because he's a good VP, but he's a shitty general manager. He is. The league is beyond him. It happens to some of the best coaches. Wouldn't make you think it wouldn't happen to a general manager. It happens. And for him to sit up there and say, I might do it another 10 years, and Lauscher, who's his boss, don't come down and say, hey, bro, listen, we're going to have to cut this short. We need more young people at this level, somebody that's more in tune to today's NFL. You think he has the vision to do that? That guy is so emotionally ridiculous. He said that he couldn't do his evaluations jobs during the season because he's too emotional. So he getting a check for nothing. And they say sit up there and let them happen. That's what I'm saying is these people at the top are ridiculous. But it's how is it supposed to happen if you don't open up? You got to challenge that. A lot of stuff that ain't right, you got to challenge. You can't go along with everything. So, we got some go along people, man. I ain't no go along guy. If I see something, I'm gonna challenge it, man. If I see something wrong, I'm gonna challenge it. That's how you change stuff. You got to challenge, because sometimes people might not know it's a problem. Sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes they might not see it's a problem. Thank you, Chantel. All right. Yeah. YO says they talking. I don't know who that is, bro. I mean, there's a lot of people that's just, they don't like dinner. It's a lot of stuff about the Saints, people misinterpreting the hesitancy about the Saints season based on the team. It's not the team. It's Dennis Allen. I told y'all that. We talk about that all the time. It's Dennis Allen. That's why the confidence and a lot of what people feel for the Saints as a team, we got all this talent. We got all of these really great players on the team, but it's like a low expectation for some people. And that's not because of the Saints team. It's the coach. Because some people realize at an instinctual level that fundamentally speaking, that if your coach is not on code and not handling this business, not making the calls when he's supposed to, he can really suppress the level of talent, the level of the potentiality of the team, because the vision of the team is through the coach. The team sees in a way through the coach's vision. And if the coach's vision isn't clear and consistent and persistent, the team will fail despite how much talent they have. That's been the problem. Until a coach can crystallize his vision. This is true talk, man. This is not just with football. This is with anything. If you got a business, or if you work for a company that's a big company, if the chief financial officer or that's the chief executive officer of the business has a cloudy vision, right, about where the team, and he making stupid bets, that company gonna go out of business, bro. You have to have a clear vision, and everybody has to know their roles without question. Now you'll have a wrinkle every now and again, but it's up to the supervisor, which is the head coach, to be able to then iron that out. Any confusion. That's what I'm saying. So if you think about it in that way, you can understand why some people have that perspective. You get what you see what I'm saying? Put one in the chat if you get what I'm saying, because this is a very, very, very well-known philosophy, family, that if you the boss, the business will only go as far as the intelligence and the vision of the boss. If the boss has a limited vision, it's the same like if you're the leader of your family. If you have a very limited understanding on how to transact business, and you're not trying to refresh ideas or come up with new stratagems to make you more effective and stronger and faster, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. That's like you see people, families only go so far, and other people, families go a lot further because of vision. You got to have the vision first, and then all else follows. You got to have the vision. All right, Head Trauma says, do you think Dia will have both Hayner and Rattler? Nah, he's required to be able to, he has to choose one. In my estimation, Head Trauma, I think it'll be Jake Hayner will be number 2 tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong. I'm Malski. I'm ready just to put Dennis on the spotlight. No, like I've been asking some of the family members, let's be patient with Dennis Allen, because we finally got Dennis Allen talking the talk. Let's see how he walks the walk. We finally got these people to get rid of the offensive coordinator, bring somebody in here that has accountability and attention to detail. I like these offensive coaches. He's talking accountability, attention to details. He's talking team stuff, team concepts. He talking it. We don't know how it looks because he ain't walking yet, but now we get to the point where the talk stops and the walk begins. So we have to be a little bit more patient to see if just that potentiality is if he can turn it around. That's only being fair, right? Right? You know? All right. Rockwell says, if we still can't stop mobile, we gonna lose. I think we'll be all right. Rosin says, Q, You think what 32 said about D is what 48 didn't want to say? AK said they wanted him to say something he didn't want to say. I said that, bro. Like, it's Elvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore were saying stuff that we knew what was going on. We was covering it last year. And because you could see what was going on, because you could tell the difference between, you could see what a fractured team play like. You can see when people are having all these breakdowns and stuff so going crazy. You know from watching football for a long period of time what a fractured team look like. Y'all know what that looks like, and that's what the Saints look like. And Dennis Allen was, because remember, the media knew too. We looked at it and seen that the media knew what was going on, and they were asking fractured questions. And I told y'all, and I said, hey, listen, fam. And Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis says no fractured locker room, right? The crazy part about it is the media knew because they was in there talking to him. They was in there watching them, that, you know, and they were talking. They just didn't put it out there. They knew. And I told y'all during, I said, man, that's a bunch of BS. When they said that, I said that's BS because the team playing fractured. That's why a lot of these games, the close games they were losing. I mean, you can't be an off-code team beating a team on code, man. That's law. That's universal law. Off-code teams ain't beating code teams, man. Code means you're on principle. You have a plan of action and you execute. And the off-code team can't beat a team that's operating in that. That's a violation. So when I was seeing the Saints losing these games, I was like, yeah, I knew what time it is, because a lot of this stuff required a supervisor that gave a damn to step in and iron out the wrinkles, make promises, talk to players, do something like that. He didn't do none of that. Mickey Loomis had his door closed. He didn't want anybody. He won't go talk to the players after the season is over with, which has no impact on the season. Why he didn't do that when the season was running? It's just a bunch of BS, just garbage. But Marshawn Lattimore and Elvin Kamara was the ones that was calling it out. Y'all remember I played interviews. Elvin Kamara said people was false starting in practice. I was like, man, where this is from? And he talked about having a line where we used a floor where we were supposed to be at, and not letting it dip underneath that. He was telling the truth. Mickey Loomis didn't like that. And what kind of person would not say that they were right and, you know, about what the team was playing like last year and still pretend like they was on code? That's what Loomis is doing. Elvin Kamara, man, is right to feel the way he is. All this is on Mickey Loomis. That's why I want his ass out of here as the general manager, because it's not even a foregone conclusion to pay Pete Werner $17 million. And Pete Werner probably going to get outplayed by Willie Gay once he gets healthy, because we're going to need him to cover them tight ends, the speedy tight ends. And that ain't Pete Werner's game, but he gave $17.5 million to Pete. And he's in a competition, but Elvin Kamara sitting out here with his hand out saying, oh, you ready? I earned it. Well, first of all, I want you to. No, we ain't doing none of that, brother. You keep that. But yeah, that's a part of it. Tyrann Mathieu is the opposite side. Tyrann Mathieu will tell you that DA's the cool coach. Nobody else saying that but him. A DA's, he can compare them to an alpha dog. That's just BS. There's no part of Dennis Allen's game is alpha. None of that. And if he's tired of getting disrespect, stop giving it. You're getting what you give. How people stand up here and forget principles, man. These grown fucking men. Excuse my French, man. These grown men, they supposed to know better, man. You getting what you give, young people. That's how it works in this world, in this universe. You get what you give. If you don't like what he's getting, stop giving it. Are we clear on that? Put one in the chat. People are they're just reactors. They're reacting off of what you are creating. Crazy part about the game is that they don't like you reacting. They want you to give them a different reaction to the action they're giving. It don't work like that. If you want something positive, you got to give something positive. Same thing on opposite spot. They are reflecting the energy. They're reflectors. They're sending back to you what you giving them. So if you don't like what you're getting, then give something different. That's what it comes down to. And for that, we'll see. That requires patience. That's game. That's facts. If you don't like, and let that be for everybody, if you don't like how people are treating you, analyze yourself. And if it's different people, like bunch of people, and they doing the same stuff, analyze your actions. It might be you inadvertently putting out the wrong energy and expecting something else. And then spend most of our lives trying to figure out, hey, man, these people don't like. No, they're acting from the end. They're reacting from the energy that you giving them. You the center of your universe. So if you're sending out something and you don't like what you getting back, change your actions. Change your actions. So that's like a code. So when I say, so it don't, like I said, man, nobody don't. I'm a real dude over here. I'm not gonna sit here and say Dennis Allen. No part of Dennis Allen's game is alpha dog. None of that. None of it. The cloud floating the way he moves around on the field, the stuff that he says, the and well, let me see, the way he looks down during press conferences and the uncertainty that he gives. None of that is alpha dog, bro. None of that is. None of that. It is also not an alpha dog perspective to put alpha dog tendencies on the obvious beta or lesser personality. Come on. Come on now, man. We don't sit here and placate to nobody, man. And life is too short for that foolishness. All right. What's up, Barbara? Shout out to my girl, Barbara. She said hard suddenly became an alpha dog when you ain't nothing but a porch puppy. See, people they know better, man. They're not hating on Dennis Allen, man. It's the fact that you're getting what you give. If Dennis Allen was a better coach, he would activate and do things differently. He wouldn't do the type of stuff like for instance, just a recent example of doing stuff the right way. We have a competition that happened through OTAs, voluntary to mandatory into training camp and through preseason. These players performed to get their rankings. And then you get to the regular season where everybody's supposed to know where they stand in forms of where they ranked at. Like what order am I in? Am I behind this guy? That's been something that was happening since Biddy ball or college. Playground ball. That's a standard NFL pro basketball, college, whatever. That's where you are. You go, usually you make the team, you want to see what order you're in. You're going to be the backup here and you know where you need to work from to see if you can climb up. That man don't even have, Spencer Rattler don't even have that. It's not hard for you to say who the second guy is. And the reason why I want people to understand the reason why Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener is not being called for who they are is because Dennis Allen knows that if he puts Spencer Rattler behind Derek Carr, it creates a pressurized scenario for Carr because the Who Dat Nation, a lot of the great think tank and the Who Dat Nation rocks with what I call them the people's champ. In the Who Dat Nation, they love Spencer Rattler. They love him. They love him, dare I say, more than their starting quarterback. And Dennis Allen knows that. That's why this game is going on. It's not no competition because it wasn't even close. Jake Haener had some positive stuff, but Spencer Rattler outplayed him. Now, by the fundamentals and the rules of how things go from a roster standpoint, making a team, the man earned that position. There shouldn't be these games. But when you operate a protection matrix, that's a violation right there because you then are violating the rules that players are supposed to play under insofar as where they rank in these orders so they know where they earned. For you to do him that is an injustice. That's messed up to do him like that. And don't think that I'm not the only one that sees it. He sees it too. And Jake Haener knows that man outplayed him. But I expect when they do come out that it'll be Jake Haener because that way he creates a buffer between him and Carr because he doesn't want any responsibility or pressure on Derek Carr at all. Did y'all catch that? That's how that works. Now, that's what I was saying in terms of that being a violation. That's all. I term that as off-code behavior. You're not supposed to be protecting. A man earned the job. Let him stay there. And if he performs and wins, it does, so be it. But you don't try to downplay that man or take what away from him what he earned to protect another man. That's a violation, bro. And he know that. How would he like somebody to do that to his ass? He wouldn't like that very well, would he? But you can do it to somebody else, though. That's what's going on. But he's an alpha, though. People laughing at that, man. They know what time it is, man. That's your boy Tyrann Matthew saying that now. Sitting up here placating for Dennis Allen because he's getting a check from him. What's up, Toy? Big ups to you, man. I respect guys like I respect Alvin Kamara for keeping it real and telling the truth. He lives on that. Despite him getting checks from the Saints, he keeps it real and telling the truth. People love that and respect that. I respect Marshawn Lattimore and other players that tell the truth and about keeping the team higher, the culture and the mentality of winning higher than what some coach who don't know what to do and is failing and then changes his entire offensive staff. But the players who was talking about keeping the accountability thing, now that he's speaking it religiously this year, those guys were saying that then. And it's kind of funny that they should be elevated in a position where they were a bit of some profits there to say, hey, you know what? You was right, man. We was not playing the way we were supposed to. You know, let's do this, that, and the third. Not off cold people. That caused fractures in the team. That's what I'm saying. He do be fracturalizing his team, man. Even be realizing what he doing it. Dude, if I can see it, they can see it, man. And not only that, if I can see it, they could feel it. They're the ones taking them hits in that practice. Yeah, Dre Day, you're right. Beat like her. Abel said, beat more like DeMar, because Demario Davis is on that same wavelength. Demario Davis is a dude that's big on religion, and I love and respect what he say. But at the same time, Demario Davis will walk off the. I told y'all that Demario Davis will walk off the edge of the volcano with you. He wouldn't try to stop you. Yeah, what happened last year? He wasn't talking against how shitty these people look. They weren't trying to put together any player only meetings. Remember, I was asking for where the player only meetings to stop all this. None of that was going on. They just went over that. They just failed happily together. So I'm like, nah, man. Yeah, be more like Demario Davis. That's what Abel said. He was criticizing Marshawn Lattimore, talking about he was a diva and all this kind of stuff. I like, damn. Because he didn't want to accept mediocrity. No, it wasn't about that. It was about him challenging the people. That's what it was about. Just take your money and shut up. That's what it's about. You know, Jack says the more times we have players that leave and have success with other teams, makes you wonder if other guys are thinking if I could get out of here, I could do the same too. Interesting, bro. Very interesting. What's up, Steve? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. But like I said about Dennis Allen, man, Dennis Allen is going to be, Tyler says, hold that L more. I hear you, Tyler. Don't be surprised, brother, if you be the one holding it. I want to see you in the call-in stream. I mean, not the call-in, the play-by-play stream tomorrow, Tyler. I want to see you here. All right, we're going to see who hold that L. All right, Marla says, we're about to see DA as versus Mike McCarthy next week. Yes, indeed. I'm that nice, says Tyler, calm down. Don't you rile up these Saints people. Don't you rile them up. And they know, and they know, some of the Atlanta Falcon people know, man, that the Saints, like I've been saying, man, we've been busting Atlanta over the head for a while now, man. I don't need to go into my stat bag. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to see, man. We're going to see, fam. All right, we're going to see. Lewis says, true, Q, the visits and turns of life are a blessing in retrospect, but when you find yourself in a position of power without the vision, it's rare to learn what you need to learn in that environment. Indeed, fam, a lot of the game, man, we talk about here is stuff that it's covered like in the sports, because sports is life, and a lot of the stuff is actually, it obviously predates the sports and is taken into that environment. But like, if you have a group of people, they all come from different environments and walks of life and thought processes and all that. It's a bit of difficulty to be able to get all these different people who were not grown in the same environment. Even if you had some people that were in the same environment, they'll have a different experience in that environment, because each situation is different. Some people might have a one parent and might not have another, or might have both parents and might not have no parents. These environments help craft and make people different. Even persons that have two-parent environments still sometimes goes to the opposite side of the tracks that they're supposed to be going on. You see what I'm saying? Each experience is different on its own wavelength. And if you can get all these people from all these different backgrounds to come together and they buy into the success model and work together to build or to win at the highest level, that is indeed a awesome thing. That's like building a building or something. You got all these different people from all these different places that's bringing in the materials and laying it down. They're working together. They got blueprints. They're sharing the plans. I need you to do this. The guy making sure they do it right. Then lo and behold, after time, they got a brand new building now where people can go in there and get to working. And then, then the whole process starts over where whoever had the building built now has to bring in the people to work in the building so we can justify the building of the building by making it a success or whatever business is within the building. So you're constantly seeing this cycle revolve all over again. And it's not a rare thing. If everybody knows what success is, everybody wants success that's in their right mind. We can all link together on that. That's what it comes down to. But that's the issue the Saints have. They have to be able to make sure everybody is on the same pass, on the same play, on the same list, on the same line, to understand that if we don't handle the business, then more than likely we all gonna get the X. That's just what it is. All right. Yeah. Said Head Trauma said Lattimore is not a yes. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. Yeah, but Demario Davis is. And so is this guy, Tyrann Mathieu. He calls Dennis Allen the fun guy. I like, man, about it. Who are he playing Uno with him? And now he's an alpha too. Man, you need to cut that out, man. Cut that out, bro. Head Trump says Allen makes offensive changes for the team's sake, or is he trying to save his job? He's trying to save his job. Remember, we talked about this. I was saying to put the reality of what you see for the Saints is all of the changes because he's under the gun. Because, like I told y'all, these changes are a year delayed. This should have happened last year, right? But he was comfortable. Even they asked him the question last year, did you feel like you was coaching under pressure of losing your job? No. He told you that straight up real quick, too. I was like, yeah, that's the truth. Because you don't usually you got to think about, oh, no, he fired out right after I don't know. I was like, you see that? But not this year. Vic Loomis ain't taking that pressure no more, fam. He's not taking that pressure. So that's what I was saying, man. We have to be able to, we got to see, man. This is the year of truth, man. This is the year of truth. All of the talk. I want to see if Dennis Allen means what he says. We're going to see, fam. I think the Saints can win 9. I've been criticized for saying this, but I think, like, man, I only see 7, maybe 8 games. Like, brother, no, man. The only way we get 7, 8 games is if something really bad happens, because even Arizona or some of the less talented team can win 6 or 7 games. You know what I'm saying? A Saint team should be able to put together a good 10 wins with all the talent that they have. They should be able to put together 10, 11 wins if they stay on code and follow those principles that Dennis Allen kept regurgitating over and over this year. It should equal 10 to 11 wins, which should be good enough to get you an NFC South berth, which should put you into the playoffs. The only other question is Dennis Allen's message real? Is it just talk, or is it, something else? That requires time. That's why I'm saying we finally get him there. We have to be patient to wait and see what this will become, because it very well has the potentiality to turn around. It does. We do have the potentiality to turn this around. All right. Yeah, I see Alpha Possum. I don't see him as an alpha, man. No disrespect to the man. I'm just telling the truth. He's not an alpha personality. Dennis Allen's no disrespect to the man. He's not an alpha personality, fam. He's not. Oh, what's up, brother Bishop? How you doing, sir? He says, Q, Zack Baun got the close. Yeah, I know. We talked about that earlier in the show, my brother. Thank you. All right, Rattler, Backwood says, Rattler, you earned a starting role. Jake steps your game up, son. If I was the coach. Yeah, exactly. He earned it. There is no speculation around it. You know what I mean? What's up, Anthony? How you doing, brother? All right, Bishop says, notice who got contracts worked out. AK-4 was still. Yeah, I know that we talked about that. We talked about that. That is real smoke, right? That's real spit, man. Real stuff, man. Alvin Kamara should not be going through this right now with the Saints and getting a contract. He did too much over his years to earn his way to have that third and final contract. He said he wanted to be the Saint for life. He basically said the same thing Cam Jordan said. And the Saints gave Cam Jordan a contract, and Cam Jordan's numbers were down. Now, granted, Elvin Kamara's numbers are down, but that's a combined effort coming from the Saints not utilizing them correctly. And last year, the offensive line was funky. The Saints wasn't switching up the offensive line coach. I was like, man, could we go get Jari Evans and pull Marone out of there, switch it up, do something different? They didn't change nothing. Nothing. They didn't change nothing. And Alvin Kamara, he missed 2 or 3 games last year because of the Las Vegas thing, but he was there. And besides all that, overall, a man, if you can give Cam Jordan a contract for the rest of his life with the Saints, then Alvin Kamara deserves one too. You can't, if they turned Cam down, that would have been a whole thing. Like, okay, well, they turned Cam down. They gave Cam a contract for the rest of his life. You couldn't give Alvin a contract? I just don't understand that. L-Dub says, did you see Dennis Allen tell Taysom that since he's the captain, he needs to speak up more because people listen to him? Maybe DA wants Taysom to help him look good too. He wants Taysom to step up because people listen. Taysom Hill is a force. I still don't know in what capacity the Saints are going to use him in. Perhaps we think a fullback, maybe tight end, wide receiver, all over the place. We don't know exactly what Clint Kubiak's idea for Taysom is. I'm not mad about Taysom Hill being a captain. I think Taysom Hill is one of those people on the team that should be. He's a good dude. He's a positive person. He's a motivational guy. He talks to the teams. Everybody seems to love him. He's a cool dude, mild-mannered, hard-working dude. Everybody love. I don't have any problems with people like that being captains to speak up for, man. But Dennis Allen really needs to follow his own advice as well. He needs to step it up too. All right, Willie says, get rid of Allen and Loomis, lose all the dead weight, and long with the players who's for Allen. Yes. All right. Thank you, bro. Head Trauma said the team owed Kamara that contract for all the frustration and abuse that man took over the last couple of years. What's up, brother Eternal? All right. Facts on that. Yes, indeed. KB says that we've been saying this for the last 3 years. Show me my patience is running thin. Shout out to you, KB. KB says, show me. She says, show me. That's been a theme, the long running theme on the Sports Coma, man, is that I done took that Glenn Jones song and I done turned it to a popular thing in the Who Dat Nation, our family, haven't I? Because that's something that is like, they come with all of the BS and the propaganda. People like, man, you're going to give y'all everything. It's time for y'all. That's the sentiment of the Who Dat Nation, man. They got to show us, man. We done gave you everything, man. You got to step it up now. All right. Raquel says, these changes made by Mickey, I'm trying to tell you, DA does not have the power to fire anybody during the season. The players know that. That's why the offensive players don't like him. I don't think so, bro. I think Mickey Loomis does whatever Dennis Allen tells him to do. And that's what we do know. Mickey Loomis is very agreeable if you're the head coach. Mickey Loomis is not a meddler. He's not a meddling general manager. He will give you whatever you need, and then he'll close the door and leave you to it. He won't come in and say, hey, you guys need to step it up. He won't do none of that. He'll leave you alone, and he doesn't step in. He lets you go ahead and do what you got to do. If you want a guy gone, he'll give you the power to get rid of him. He lets Dennis Allen has full control of this team. But like, this is not a Sean Payton team. It's all Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's head coach. Dennis Allen's the head coach. It's all his offensive people. The majority of the people on defense are guys that he picked. This is his team. You got a few layovers from Sean Payton's squad. This is in year 3. This is Dennis Allen's team. It's his team. It's his quarterback that he drafted for the Raiders, that he brought in here and gave $150 million to. All these people, these are Dennis Allen decisions. This team in the 3rd year is a Dennis Allen centric team. And there's nobody to fire. Like you had Pete Carmichael, which was one of the last things Sean Payton had attached to the team. He's gone now. So if they fail, it's nowhere for the target to fall except for only him. He knows that. He knows that. This is his squad. That's why I was saying Mickey Loomis will give Dennis Allen everything he wants as a football coach. He'll get whatever player, if he can afford it, he'll go out and get it. He'll do it. He'll do it. That's why a lot of the free agent signings were certain players better than I ain't gonna say better than it, but more high profile than the offensive side of it. Think about it. Chase Young. The Saints went and got Chase Young, right? Which was probably the most high profile signing. I want to say, y'all let me know, maybe Willie Gay in there, but I won't say Chase Young. Probably the most high profile signing the Saints have had this year, right? Y'all put one in the chat if y'all agree. Y'all put in there who y'all think the most high profile signing was. But Chase Young is my call. And then you have Willie Gay. You bring in Will Harris, you know, and then that's defensive guys to help his defense. You look at the offense. Well, who was the Chase Young equivalent for the offense? You see what I'm getting at? Who's the equivalent for if you kind of do a comparison of the equivalents in terms of signings for the Saints, who would be the equivalent to Chase Young signing for the Saints offense this year? Or the Willie Gay? You see what I'm getting at? Who would be those guys? Because you have Cedric Wilson Jr. That wasn't a high profile sign. It's just a solid sign. You know, Cedric Wilson Jr. is a decent wide receiver, but he ain't Mr. Popularity. He ain't blowing the doors off like, oh man, we got Cedric Wilson Jr. Oh my God, we about to go to the Super Bowl. Nah, it's not that kind of energy, right? And then you have Ali Udo, which was the first offensive lineman that they signed, right? Who the hell is that guy? I had to go and do research on him, right? So I mean, they didn't really have the same energy signings offensive wise than the defense had, and the offense needed more than the defense had. Than they needed. The defense was okay. The offense needed a lot more, right? But it's just going to show you, family, that the mentality of the coach, he's a defensive guy, so he's going to look at the defense first because he's a defensive-minded coach. But the offense needed more high-profile signing, especially on offensive line, maybe a more high-profile wide receiver to go in the mix, something like that. Maybe it wouldn't hurt my feelings. But a lot of the offensive free agent signings were very mediocre signings. You know what I mean? They were very mediocre. And you need a lot of help on that offense. So, we'll see, man. Yeah, Eternal say, yeah, Chase is the best one. And even if they would have pulled off the Justin Simmons thing, that would still be on the defensive side too. And I'm like, that was the point of like when this whole line of question I'm talking to you guys about is what I was saying. Like, why the hell are we bringing Justin Simmons in here? We need some help offensively. I kept saying it. I'm like, it don't make any sense. That's Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen was like, man, we need to look at that guy and that guy. We good on offense. We straight on offense. No, you're not. You need help over there. So we'll see how it all works, man. We'll see how it all works. But shout out to y'all, man, for being here. All right. But fam, let me cut it out, man, and get on up out of here. What's up, Gundam? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Anthony? Big ups to you. All right. Bullet Family Travel Vlogs. Big ups to you as well. Good to see you. He said he can't blame Jameis. Nah, Jameis is in Cleveland, man. Jameis, you might see Jameis later on in the year, depending on how Watson do. Yeah, Ali Udo. Yeah, he the guy, right? Yeah, man. Ali, who the hell is that guy? I was like, Ali who? I called. I said, Ali Hudo? I was like, Ali Hudo? Who? That's how I was, man. To go out like, man, listen, I'm gonna have to go look that dude up, man. Listen, that was one of them silent. I was like, Ali Hudo? Our English says Loomis still green when he hired Peyton. Peyton captained the whole ship for close to 20 years. Now Loomis is old and on his own again. He needs to go, bro. As a general manager, let him. He got a VP job. He got a little stuff right there. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. All right, Cartel says, Q, did you see how Kool-Aid running with Tyron rookie college number? Yeah, I seen that, bro. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he broke down why he decided to, wear the number and all that. I'm looking forward to seeing him too, bro, and how he activates in that Saints secondary. Secondary is that's why I was like, man, I'm not really tripping on the secondary. We so good there with our secondaries. Our cornerbacks are all solid. If somebody has a bang up, or Marshawn, we got Paulson, we got Alante, we got Kool-Aid, we got and even Rico Payton, our young cornerback. Rico Payton is cool. Will Harris is solid. We got Tyron doing his thing. Jordan Howden is going to make a step. We'll see. And I think Saints will activate some safeties tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if they activate both Jonathan Abram and Ugo Amadi. Wouldn't be surprised they activated both of those guys. Anyway, let me just do this, fam, before I get ready to let y'all go up out of here. Let me kind of give you a little news right here from the Saints transaction report. Here go one coming at you. This one they just released this one. It's kind of what's waiting on this one. This is a transaction report setting up for tomorrow's game. Saints have elevated linebacker Kaliki Hudson and defensive tackle Kendall Vickers to the active roster from the practice squad using the standard elevations. All right, so here it goes right here. So there you go, fam. Just a little news notes on that right quick for the family members, just to let you know the Saints on the transaction report, and I probably have another one coming, but the Saints have elevated linebacker Kaliki Hudson and defensive tackle Kendall Vickers to the active roster for the practice squad, standard elevation. So hold on, let me give me a second, let me kind of peek at something right quick for with the Saints and see what they got going on there. Yeah, so they kind of making a little headroom right there. Let me see if I can look at their depth chart here and see if they fix that depth chart. Let me see. Yep. All right, listen, and let me a little news to drop for y'all. Check this out. Now, the Saints have updated their depth chart on the website. This is directly from the Saints website. Now, they just did this. It had to be today. So they do the standard elevations, then updated their roster, their roster. Look at this. So you might just for some of my family members that need to know, this is how it looks. All right, so you got Chris Olave here. A.T. Perry, second team. Bub Means, third team. Tackle is Tali, Fuaga, Landon Young, Lucas Patrick, Nick Saldiveri, Eric McCoy with Lucas Patrick behind him, Ruiz with Landon Young here, Trevor Penning with Ali Udo is there, tight end Foster Monroe, and then Jawan Johnson listed as second team. Now, listen, they just updated this. Is this active according to the actual depth chart to start the team? We don't know, but look at this. You got Taysom Hill as also a tight end with Dalen Hawker, who's not active. So we know Dalen Hawker is not going to be in the game. He's not active. So you'll see Foster and Jawan. They got Taysom listed as a tight end. Rashid Shaheed, Cedric Wilson, and Mason Timpton. Quarterback Derek Carr, Jake Hayner, and Spencer Rattler is underneath Jake Hayner. Running backs, Elvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, and Jordan Mims, and Adam Prentice. Let's go defensive. They got Carl Grandison and Chase Young there with Saunders, Shepard. They got Saunders and Shepard there, and they got Cam listed at the left end position. We probably think we'll see what it looks like, but we know Chase Young, and Carl Granderson will probably start opposite of each other, with Cam being more inside, but they just kept him at his left position. Foskey behind Granderson and Young, according to this. Christian Boyd behind Saunders. Berce's there behind Shepard and John Ridgway the third. You got Cam Jordan, Peyton Turner. Linebackers are Pete Werner with Anthony Orji, DeMario Davis, DeMarco Jackson, Willie Gay, Anthony Orji, and Jalen Ford. We know DeMarco Jackson and Jalen Ford are out. They won't be playing in the game. So Kendall Vickers will be another defensive tackle put into the game, like the report just says. And you see Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo there, Alante Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Rico Payton, Jordan Howden, and Matthew with JT Gray and Will Harris. So we probably see some more stuff happening as we move into the rest of the. I'm probably going to see some more, but these are some of the roster moves that they announced. So like I said, some more roster moves to talk about. The fact the Saints have elevated Kaliki Hudson to fill in for those injured backup linebackers. Kaliki's a special teams guy. Defensive tackle Kendall Vickers to help out with the fact that Bink Saunders will be out of this game as well. And there you go. So that's a couple of things to talk about there as well. So, all right, just to let you guys know here, and that's some of the depth chart. Special teams Matthew Hayball, Blake Group A. Kicking off is Blake Group A, long snapper Zach Wood. You see Hayball there, and they got the kick return and punt returns. Rashid Shaheed on both those, with Mason Tipton at the punt return and Jamal Williams as a kick returner. So that's some of it now. Like I said, these are the Saints now. Prior to this, just to let some of the family members know that this roster that the Saints have was still had a lot of the undrafted guys, like the practice squad players, and they just recently changed it. So if this is close to the active roster for the Carolina Panthers matchup, you'll probably, you'll get more of an accurate one when it comes out tomorrow. You'll know. But this has just happened not too long ago, because I checked earlier today to see what happened. They just changed this not too long ago. So anyway, just to put y'all on game, man. Didn't I tell you?
He ain't lying.
Did I tell your ass? I told you. Did I tell you? Boy, I know what I be talking about, man. Why y'all surprised? Why y'all surprised, man? Why y'all so surprised? Huh? I told you, I know these people, man. No damn people, man. Saints family members feel like
Come
this.
on now, dog. Come on, man.
Oh man, hey man, listen, man. Let me get on out of here, man. Told y'all. Put one in the chat if I told y'all. Man, I told y'all before all this got going. I said, hey, listen, hold on, fam. Did a salad always do one or two sneaky moves that don't make sense. Put one in the chat. I told y'all this was going. I told y'all about the protection matrix. Didn't I tell you? Told y'all about it. All right, listen, that's my time, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Much love to the Who Dat Nation, man. As usual, man, it's always great to talk at y'all. Listen, tomorrow we'll be back. It's game day for the Who Dat Nation. Tomorrow we'll be in the building at 11:35 Central Time, man. Y'all hit the notification so y'all don't miss the stream. We'll be in this thing live reacting. We do the play-by-play. We'll start off with the pregame, then the actual game, through that all the way into the post-game where we play all of the interviews, post-game press conference reviews. We have Pops Q to chime in on the recap stream as well. It'll be a full day full of Saints festivities, man, as we cover the Black and Gold's Week 1 matchup against the Carolina Panthers in the Dome. So, yeah. All right, so listen, man, I'm gonna cut y'all loose, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all for allowing me to talk at y'all. It's always an honor to sit before the Who Dat Nation, man, and discuss life and football with you guys, and to share the love and passion for our squad, the Saints, man, as we move forward into the 2024 season, baby. We here. So with that being said, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If y'all didn't subscribe, please feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you're listening via X, give us a retweet. It won't cost you nothing. And I'm going to holler at y'all on tomorrow's stream. Much love. And Who Dat? And before I go, fam, listen, just to let you guys know, for the Tough Tiger Talk stream, we'll be doing a live watch party going on. It's going to be going on right now, plus the recap at the end of the LSU Nichols games, just to let you know, my Tiger people. With that being, that's on Tough Tiger Talk, our other stream. So with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Much love. Appreciate y'all. Who Dat? Peace. And I'm out.
Yeah, huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get on our winner takes all $300,000 NFL pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and